Hello, today we're going to be going through how to create a page using Elementor for a WordPress website. To start this off, we're going to need to go ahead and log in. So I have the link here and I'm going to go ahead and just press enter and I am already logged in. However, if you're not logged in, you'll be taken to a login page where you'll need to enter your credentials and click login. So to start off here, we're going to go ahead and look at what page we're going to make. And we're essentially just going to make a copy of the home page in this example. This was made using Fusion Builder. However, we're going to go ahead and just rebuild this using Elementor, and there are going to be a few differences because of that. But overall, I do tend to prefer Elementor over this unupdated Fusion Builder that we have on the website. So to start this off, I'm going to go to Pages and I'm going to click Add New. This is going to be the link to the copy of the home page. I'm just going to type in Home 2.0. This will not be connected to our website. This is just to give an example of how this is going, or how this would work. And I'm going to scroll down to the bottom because our default on Pages is to have sidebars on. So I'm going to go ahead and click No Sidebar. I'm going to scroll back up to the top and click Publish. And now this blank page is live. So we're going to go ahead and start editing this with Elementor. To start this out, we're just going to add in, let me explain this a little bit better. So you click on this little Add New Section button and it says Select Your Structure. For the first part of this, we're just going to do this single block, and this is going to be like a full page single block, as you see here. And at the top of our website, we have a slider 360, or a slider Revolution 6. So we're just going to drag and drop this over here, and Ability Connection Home is what we're going to use for this top part. And then, so that'll essentially look the same as this slider on the top of the page. I like to add in a little spacer between all of my sections. I just think that it makes it look nicer, so we're just going to add in another one of these and come over to the widget button, which is right here, and drag over a spacer into that section. And then our next segment that we're going to be doing is going to have 4 segments across the screen. So we're just going to click on this one that has 4. And as you can see over here, we have an image, title, text, button on all of these. So that's just exactly what we're going to do over here. The easiest way I think to do this is to come over here and click on image, drag and drop. Then we're going to go ahead and do our text heading. I think copying this is pretty easy, and then just paste. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to drag over a text editor, copy, paste, and finally a button. Here's a button, so we're just going to drag this over, copy, paste. Now, the image that we're going to use is going to be the same one that is used on the original homepage, so we're just going to click on the image, select image, and we're just going to scroll down until we find this image right here, and we're just going to insert that. The first one is donate, then volunteer, and then make a friend. I think we can honestly condense these buttons down at the bottom a little bit and make them a little bit easier to align if we say become an Ability Connection donor in the top section. So let's see. Become an Ability Connection donor. And then in the next one, we're going to say what's currently in the button. So become a connection ambassador. Double check how to spell that. Ambassador, and then we have become a connection companion. Okay. And then our buttons we're going to make reflect what is currently on our ways to help: give money, give time, give friendship. So instead of click here, we're just going to say give money. For the next one, we're going to say give time. I believe that's how that goes, right? Yes, and then give friendship. Okay. And then we're just going to copy and paste the text that is currently right here. Let's see. And that is going to be all of our text. So then you might be thinking, okay, this doesn't look the same as this one. They're not all aligned. So now we're just going to do a little bit of editing on here. We are going to start off by centering and changing the color. The color that we're currently using is 073763. That is the shade of blue. We're going to go to copy, and then we're going to go to paste style. And that's going to center it and change the color. For the text, we're also going to come over to style. We're going to go ahead and make this black so that it's a little bit easier to read. And we're going to click the center button. And then we're just going to go copy, paste style, paste style. And up here real quick, actually, we're going to go ahead and change this from H2 to H3. That'll change the text size. But this changes the way that the website is read by Google bots and kind of helps to organize the website a little bit more. So major titles you have in H2 and H1, and then progressively as they become less important, you change the HTML tag to the different ones. Now you can still come over here to the style and click on typography, and you can change the size of the text as you feel. So if you want these to still be larger, you can do that. I'm just choosing not to. So then we're going to go ahead and click on this Give Money tab. We're going to come over to the style, and we're going to go background color. And the background color of this, we're just going to make the same as the green that we're using throughout the website on our donation pages now. So we're going to go 0F6F4B, enter, and we are going to center this button. And then we're just going to go copy, paste style, paste style. Then we'll go ahead and look at this in a full screen view so you can see these are still a little bit above this. So how we're going to fix that is we're going to go right over here to the widgets, and we're going to add in a spacer, and then we're going to change this width to, I don't know, a 10. It seems like it might be right. I think that's pretty close. We'll copy and paste this right here as well. Oh. So that it's underneath there, and then we will go out, and it looks like that's still a little bit too big, so I think 10 is as small as we can go. So what we're actually going to do is go to 20, and we'll go ahead and duplicate this and put one of these underneath there. And we'll change this up to 20. And look at how this looks. So we're going to have to go a little bit bigger. As far as size-wise goes on these spacers, a lot of it is trial and error. And I think that looks pretty good, the 30 spacer. So we're going to go ahead and click on the other one, and we're going to just change this to 30 as well. And now those all look relatively in line. So we're going to call that good. Beneath that, we're going to add in one of these full screen, single structure ones or sections, and then we're going to add in a spacer just because I like having this in between all of my sections. I feel like it makes it look a lot cleaner. The next section is going to be an About Us. So this is a 2-column structure that we're going to be building. On the right hand side, we're going to have a video. And just to show you how to do this real quick, if you click right here, you can go copy link. And then we're going to go ahead and copy that link right there. And the video is now on our new page. After that, we're going to have our title on this right hand side, followed by some text. And then after the text, we have these counter boxes and then a button. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the button first, then I'll just put the counter boxes above that as soon as we find them here on the left hand side. So the way that this works is we have the basic, which is all free, pro, paid for, and we don't currently pay for it. And then we have the general. In the general, we have these counter boxes. Ours look a little bit different than the ones that are currently used, so we'll have to adjust our style a little bit to make up for that. And kind of what I'm planning on doing here is adding in this intersection and then dragging our counter into here. And then I'm just going to copy and paste our counter so we have two. Our first number is 700, so we're just going to go right there. And now that's 700. On the other side, our number is 156.161. 156.161. And then we're going to go ahead and adjust the title here. So the title right here is Individuals Ability Connection Served. So we're just going to copy and paste that and paste it over here. And then on the other side, we're just going to get rid of that. We're going to copy and paste this other one right here. C and Command V. Now we're going to go ahead and copy over the rest of this information. So we have About Us, which is going to go in the heading, and then we have our text information down here. And now that we have all of that, we're going to work on the formatting for this section. One of the first things we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, this is the About Us, and it copied over incorrectly. So we'll go About Us, we'll go and change our color to the 076763, which is our blue that we use. I personally like having a spacer, or not a spacer, a divider in between the title and the rest of the text. I think the 20 looked good and keeps us pretty uniform throughout our different pages. And then I'm just going to change this color to reflect the blue that we're using in the title, and the size of the bar to a 5. I'm going to go ahead and grab our title and center that as well. And then I'm just going to copy this up here so that I can go ahead and just paste that style. Down here we have the boxes. We're just going to click on them so we can edit them, and then we're going to go text color of the number is going to be the same color blue that we're using. 073763, and we're just going to do the same right over here. Style text color 073763. Something that I noticed on this one is we have these little boxes around here. We can very easily do that by clicking on Advanced, Border, Border Type, Solid. I think by default this is the same color as our or this is a black. I am going to change the title style to make that just a solid black, because I think that looks a little bit gray to me. So we'll just go ahead and do that over here. We're going to go over to the advanced, and we're going to click on background, or not background, border type, solid. The button on this one says learn more about our work. I'm gonna shorten this and just say learn more. And then I'm gonna scroll up a little bit and go copy, and we're just gonna paste that style onto this button as well. And then we're gonna work to center this video a little bit. And how we're gonna do that is by adding in a new element. And what we're going to add in here is a spacer. We're just going to add it in right above the video. Then we're going to scroll down so this takes up most of our screen. We're just going to click on that spacer. And I think maybe a 75 might be good, or looks like that's not quite it, so maybe an 80. It puts that pretty lined up with the text. And to me, it looks like that is pretty centered between the top of the title and the bottom of the button. So that's where I'm going to leave that. So then I'm going to scroll down. And here we have the Explore Our Programs area. So we see we need a title, we're going to need a divider, and then we're going to need some text. So first things first, we're just going to add in this section with the spacer. Now, you don't have to do this if you don't like. I just prefer to do that. I think it looks better overall. I like the aesthetic of it a lot more whenever you're looking through the completed website, and it doesn't add that much time to add in. So I'm just going to do that. And then we have our text editor. So I believe this one said Explore Our Programs. Followed by a big text chunk right here. So we're just going to copy that, Control C, and we're going to make that what's down here. So that copied over with a lot of, with the color and some of the other stuff from the other one. To me, that doesn't really matter that much. I'm just going to work on formatting this now, and the way that I'm going to do that, and I think is easiest, is just to come up here and go copy. We're just going to paste the style again. And for this one, copy, paste style, copy. Paste style. Kind of what I want to do with this one right here. Let's see, let's go over to style, typography. We're just going to change this. I think our easiest way to do this is just going to be to enter in a new text editor and retype it. It's not wanting to cooperate, so our So there we go, we have it typed. style, we're just going to go black on that. And we will go ahead and center it. And we're going to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger than our average text, but not bigger than the title. And then we'll just delete this. The next thing that we're going to need to add in here is going to be a slider. So we're just going to go slider 6. And this is the Explorer Programs slider. So now that's added in there. And then we're just going to click here and add a spacer. There we go. And our next section is going to be our events section. So we're going to need a 2-section segment on this page. So we're just going to click here on the add button and we're going to select our structure. We're just going to do 50-50. On the right hand side, we're going to insert an image. We can go ahead and just select that image real quick. We're going to have to scroll down a little bit to find it. It looks like it is right here. That should be the image. On the left-hand side, we're going to need a text heading, a divider, and then we're going to look through here for events. And on this one, it's just going to be easier to type this in because it's going to be relatively low on the page. So we see the events list, and we can just drag and drop that right there. And now our events on the back end of our website will just be auto-updated to be included right here. So we're just going to change. So then we're going to change this text to say events. And we're going to change this down to H3, center, style 073763. And that one's all good. We're going to change this to 20 like we did on all the other ones. Center it. Change the color to 0763 or 6763. And we'll change the weight to 5, similar to all the other sections that we've done so far. So now we have our events section done. The next section is this Ability Connection offers services in Dallas, Fort Worth, Waco, Temple, Wichita Falls, and Austin. You can see here the image stays fixed. This is a little bit trickier to do, and there's a white overlay. So I'm going to show you how to do both of those. One thing though is in Elementor, the icon section, I don't have the same icon, so our icon is going to look a little bit different, and I don't know the shade of orange that they used in making that. So to start this off, we're just going to add in one of these sections with the spacer. And then we'll add in our next section, which is going to be one of these doubles again. We've been using those a decent amount. So we'll copy that text over here. And then we're just going to go ahead and center this. We'll change it down to an H3. Go to style. We'll go ahead and change this to 073763, which is the color we've been using. And then on the right hand side, we're going to add in an icon and a button. So over here it says find services near you. I'm just going to type in find services for this button. It's a little bit shorter. I don't feel like it changes the meaning. If you do though, you can just change this button back, or we can just change this button to something else. That is the blue we've been using, or the green we've been using, and then we're just going to change this, and I'm just going to type in location. I like this one a little bit better, so I'm just going to insert that. We're going to come over to style, and our primary color for this, I'm just going to make it a shade of orange. It's not going to be the exact same, although it might end up being close. And then I'm just going to change the size of this up. We're going to make this a little bit bigger. So I think that's a pretty good size. I don't think it has to be as massive as it originally was. I'm just going to make that a round number though. And for the purpose of the background image, I'm going to add a spacer above this and beneath it. As you can see on this other one, the background image is relatively wide. I'm also going to try to make this centered for the most part vertically. And to do that, I'm going to have to add a spacer, and I think I'm going to have to add, I don't know, like maybe 30. Oh, no. Yeah, right around 30 to this. And then that ends up pretty centered. Now to add the background image, I need to click on the center button for the section. I'm going to go over to Style, Classic, and then I'm going to click on the Add Image button, and I'm just going to scroll down until I find this Texas map, which is right here, and I'm going to insert that. Now you can see you can't really read the text very well anymore, and that's going to mean that we need a background overlay. To add in a background overlay, you just click on the section right here under Style. You're going to click on Color, and I believe they used a white one, so I'm just going to click on white. And then we can still see the background image, and we can see all this stuff in the front way more clearly now. Now you'll notice my image is fixed, or stuck in the panel, so it doesn't change based on my scrolling. We can change this by going back to background and going down to attachment and changing that to fixed. And as you notice now, it moves based on my scrolling, or stays essentially fixed in the same spot even though the rest of my screen moves. Beneath that, we have thank you to our partners. So for this section, we're just going to add in our customary spacer. And then we're going to add in our title, which is just going to be right here. So we're going to have our text heading. I kind of like what we're doing with our dividers, and I want to stay consistent, so we're going to add that in. And the way that I have this so that it's global is I have our partners tab in a slider. So that's just slider 3 right now is what it's currently labeled. Okay. So we're going to change our title here to thank you. Thank you to our partners with an exclamation mark. Go ahead and center it. We'll change the HTML tag to an HTML3. Change the text color. There we go. And then we're going to click on this. And for the purpose of consistency, I just want all of these to be exactly the same. Okay. And then I want to add in this so we have a little bit of space between thank you to our partners and our footer whenever this page is being viewed live. So scrolling back up to the top, we're just going to go through and add in links now. Now, granted, keep in mind the links on all of our sliders are always there, and we don't need to update those. For some of these other links, though, we will need to add them in. Like become an ability connection donor. We're going to need to press Control-C and come over here to the Give Money and put it in for the link. Then we're going to do the Give Time one, so we can go ahead and exit out of that and copy and paste this one. Now you can do this as you're going. I just like to do it at the end. Unless I have in-text ones, in which case I'll do those as I'm going so that I don't forget. But as far as buttons go, I feel like whether you do it while you're going or you do it at the end, you're less likely to forget the buttons. So I feel like you're relatively safe waiting until the end to do that. So learn more. It's going to be our About link. see. And we're just going to paste it right there. We're going to scroll down. Our events tab doesn't have any links on it. Our last link that we need to add should be our find services link. So we're just going to scroll down to that, right click, open a new tab, and we're going to copy and paste that link right into the link section. Then we're going to click update. And with that, we've successfully made a page. So we're just going to take a look at the active end of this page real quick. So abilityconnection.org/home20, and this should take us to the page that we just built. And you'll see on here we have the top slider. It's going to go through just like the original home page, followed by all of this. And I think I actually want to add in a spacer above this now that I'm looking at it on the actual web page. Because this connect with us to enrich lives doesn't actually show up centered. I think with just a default spacer, it'll show up and look a lot better. So we're going to add that in real quick and then refresh. There we go. Now it shows up in the center. We then have all of these. If we just look down here, you can see it looks nice and pretty. The space leaves a little bit of a gap, and I think that looks nice. We can move down here, and we could do this in a single bar that's not structured into two, and then center it, and that might end up looking better for the About Us, and then just have everything beneath that. That might be a better way to do that. But as far as just looking through this initially, I feel like this is a pretty solid recreation of the page. I hope that this answered all of your questions about how to create a page using Elementor. If not, just reach out to me, and I don't mind helping further to explain this. I'll also be delving into some other issues in future videos about how to create page, or how to use Elementor and the back end of the WordPress website. Thank you very much. Have a great day.